Hidden deep in the woods, away from any roads or paths, lies a graveyard that time forgot. Abandoned for decades, its tombstones crumbled, its names worn away by time. But the dead are not resting here. Dark things stir in the forgotten graveyard, and tonight we uncover the terrifying truth behind its haunting. The forgotten graveyard, an old cemetery lost in time, overgrown by nature and buried in legends of the supernatural. For years, no one knew it even existed, until a group of explorers stumbled upon it while hiking. But what they found was more than just weathered stones and rusted gates. It was something sinister. Legend has it that the graveyard was used by a small, isolated village hundreds of years ago. The villagers, plagued by disease and despair, were said to have turned to dark rituals to save themselves. But their actions only brought death and something far worse. Visitors to the graveyard have reported strange occurrences, whispers in the wind, shadows moving among the trees, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. Some say the spirits of the villagers still linger here, unable to rest, trapped in the very earth they once called home. But the most unsettling presence is said to be something older, darker, a force that was awakened by the villagers' rituals and never went back to sleep. Many believe that the tree in the center of the graveyard is the source of the darkness. It stands tall, gnarled, and twisted, with roots that run deep into the graves below. Some say the villagers performed their final ritual beneath its branches, sealing their fate and cursing the land forever. Scene 3. A team of paranormal investigators once set out to uncover the truth about the graveyard. Armed with cameras, EVP recorders, and thermal scanners, they believed they were ready for whatever haunted the forgotten cemetery. But nothing could have prepared them for what they would encounter. Almost immediately, strange things began to happen. Cold spots appeared out of nowhere, devices malfunctioned, and the sound of footsteps echoed all around them, though they were alone. And then the whispers began, faint at first, like the wind, but then louder, unmistakable. The team tried to trace the source, but the voices seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The investigator closest to the tree felt something strange, a pull, as if the ground beneath him was shifting. His camera captured something truly horrifying. Shadow, darker than the night itself, emerging from beneath the tree's roots. The figure was tall, its shape twisting and flickering in the moonlight. But it wasn't just a ghost. It was something much darker. The investigator later described it as a presence that filled the air with dread, as if it was sucking the life out of everything around it. I felt it, cold, like death itself. It was watching us, waiting, and then it moved toward me. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. It was like the air itself turned against me. The team tried to leave, but something wasn't letting them go. Shadows darted between the tombstones, and the whispers turned into screams. One by one, the investigators reported feeling hands grabbing them, pulling at their clothes, dragging them back toward the tree. In their desperation to escape, they realized too late that the graveyard wasn't just haunted, it was alive. The very earth beneath their feet seemed to pulse with a dark energy, and the spirits of the villagers were no longer just watching. They were coming for them. The investigators managed to escape the graveyard that night, but not without scars, both physical and psychological. To this day, no one knows exactly what lurks within the forgotten graveyard. But one thing is certain: the dead are far from resting. They're waiting for you in the dark. If you enjoyed this terrifying journey into the forgotten graveyard, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more spine-chilling tales. And remember, some places are forgotten for a reason, so.